Alright then, I'm leaving the car behind, bag is packed, smile is out. I'm parked at a National Trust car park that is just above Ringstead Bay. So today we are on the coast. The sun is shining and it is going to be absolutely insane because we're making our way now to the coastal path, which we're going to follow until we get to Durdle, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That is a natural limestone arch, absolutely insane. We're going to walk on further to Lulworth Cove, check out that area, maybe get an ice cream, and then loop back around following an inland route back to the car. The scenery today is going to be mind-blowing, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be awe-inspiring. I've already run out of words and we're not even there yet, but follow my journey today and you will want to come and do this walk. And the sun is just going to make everything so much better. I'm going to do my best to not complain at how hot it's going to get. It's forecast to get to 25 degrees. For me, anything above 10 is hot. So I will see how we get on, but I'm sun creamed up and raring to go. The route away from the car park above Ringstead followed a clear, chalky path, with open pastoral farmland on the left and far-reaching sea views on the right. It's pretty cool walking along this trail actually because we can see so clearly. It is a little bit hazy, but it's not too bad. The Isle of Portland, which I've done a separate walk around, and that was another lovely day like today. But you can just see it so clearly. You can see the fleet going across, and Chesil Beach stretches on the other side, so we can't see that, but you can just see the whole harbour and marina area. Gosh, it really feels like summer today. And just like that, we are on the coastal path. So it says 3/4 of a mile to White Noth, which is a kind of lookout bit. And we're going to head up there. We're going to hit the cliffs and we're going to have some epic climbs. Let's go. Oh, best sign on the planet. National Trail sign. Iconic acorn. Happiest thing in the world. Oh, can't do the gate. Somehow get through it. Oh, falling over. This is going well today. The funny thing about this walk is I spend as much time looking backwards as I do forwards. I mean, this view just opens out more and more with every step. And I know it's going to get pretty epic in front of me as well soon. But I think it's really important to just stop and take it all in. Even if that means your progress is slowed and you get eaten by flies. But, you know, sacrifices. It was easy walking along the top of the cliffs all the way to White Noth and the former Coast Guard cottages. They've now been renovated as holiday cottages, boasting incredible views over the coast. So along the main path then that we're following to Durdle, there are 3 main ascents. The first one takes us up to West Bottom, the second one takes us up to Middle Bottom, and the third one takes us up to the top of Swire Head. And also before Durdle, there's a little smaller natural arch called Bat Hole, so we'll get to see that as well. But there's plenty to keep us entertained along this route, and we have a very gentle breeze, which is just about enough to keep that heat off a little bit. Durdle, 1 3/4, Lulworth Cove, 3 miles. So I hope you're holding on to your socks then, because they're about to get blown off. Check out this view. So you can see the coast stretching on as far as the eye can see. Absolutely incredible. And what we can see is the various lumps and bumps in the landscape, and I think that's a very mild way to put there's some very serious climbs that we've got ahead of us. The first one takes us up to West Bottom, the second up to Middle Bottom, and the third is called Swire Head. And then we've also got this little outcrop here that's got a smaller natural limestone arch called Bat Hole. And then pressing on, we'll finally reach Durdle, descend down, check that out, maybe get a rock off the beach, see how we go. I expect it's going to be very, very busy there. And then we'll climb back up over the next peak and we'll drop down into Lulworth Cove, and then we'll stop there for a bit before moving inland and following the trail back inland along an ancient sort of ridgeway route. But I'm just going to really take my time doing this first section of the walk today because the weather's glorious and that view is just absolutely stunning. And you can, you know, even if there was no Durdle door around the corner, I personally feel that just that view alone should give it the right to be a UNESCO World Heritage Site because it's just absolutely fantastic. There is a baby adder, or to be fair, a pretty decently grown adder. Don't go, I wanted to see you. Alrighty, so officially beginning the first descent before the first real ascent. You can see we're just going to wind our way all the way down to the bottom, very close to sea level, probably 100 meters or so more. And then we're going to storm up there, nice and steady, back down, back up, back down, back up, and then we're there. Happy days. Let the first climb commence. Up to the top of West Bottom. There's a pretty decent ascent. Some nice cliff faces to our right here as well. It's going to be good. That part's fenced off, probably because it's due to fall anytime soon. We'll stick over here, I think. Oh, man. Look at those cliffs behind me. That's just insane that this landscape is so freely accessible. This is quite interesting actually. So you can see the earth here slopes away and this whole bit here is just a little bit lower. This is just such a good example of a slump, which basically is a form of erosion where a big chunk of land just drops down as the erosion undercutting it, and often it will fall forwards, but it's a type of landslip, and slumps can form the undercliff areas on the southwest coastal path. So there's undercliff in Dorset, on the Isle of Portland over there. There's various areas that you can walk under, and actually they form a really unique area for wildlife to thrive, in a sense that they're often quite sheltered and down from the coastal winds up high, and you just get all kinds of wildflowers and different amphibians and reptiles and birds living there. So it'll be interesting to see in the next 20 so years where this piece of land goes and what happens. So I'm right close to the edge here. If you get vertigo, don't look down because I'm going to show you. And I'm just standing in front of Bat Hole, which is the smaller natural limestone arch. Bat Hole Arch sits underneath Bat Hole Headland and is formed through coastal erosion as the wind and waves cut away at the chalky rock, first forming a cave and then an arch. These headlands, surrounded on three sides by water, make great viewpoints. We've got this cool looking sea stack here. Now what's interesting is, I think it was 2012 or 2015, something like that. This stack was considerably higher, but we had some pretty serious storms and the top of it came off, so it's now a lot shorter than it used to be. But it's pretty cool just seeing it stood there in the middle, taking the full force of the ocean day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. Climbing the next incline, views behind offered a clearer view of Bat Hole Arch. And there it is, Durdle Door Arch. That sight just takes your breath away. It's so easy to see why that is one of the most photographed views in the whole of the UK. It's just astounding. And as we get further, we'll just keep walking along the path. So we've got this sharp descent down, and then we'll follow it up over the ridge to the kind of main touristy path. So that's where it's going to get really busy. And we can just walk up to the top to have a look down over Durdle Door itself and just get a closer look basically. But first of all, we've got to get down here. Last little climb then, and we'll be greeted with pretty epic views of Durdle Door. I am so stoked to get to the top. It's unreal. Love the beach, don't let litter spoil it. Hashtag 2-minute beach clean. Take a bag, pick up litter, snap it and tag it, share it, recycle what you can, bin it. That's it, that's what it's about. Durdle derives its name from the Old English word thurl, meaning bore or drill, and is actually privately owned by the Wells family, who oversee the Lulworth estate and 12,000 acres of land throughout Dorset. The famous view has featured in songs, artwork, movies and poetry. The author Arthur Moore, a friend of Thomas Hardy and a missionary to China, wrote these words in his book Songs of Heaven and Home in 1879. Shall the tide thus ebb and flow forever? And furthermore, rave the wave and glance the ripple through the rocks at Durdle. Alright, so that's Durdle. We're just walking up the main tourist path now, and we're going to work across just half a mile down to Lulworth Cove, and we'll check that out, see what's going on, quick toilet stop, and then we'll move inland and start the route back. On the eastern side of Durdle is the Man of War Bay, or Cove, depending on which map you're using. Walking past, it was easy to see why this was such a popular spot to sit and relax, sheltered from the wind. Climbing up the gravelly tourist path, the route passed the Durdle Holiday Park and continued east onto Lulworth Cove. And there it is, Lulworth Cove, looking very cove-like. All the cars parking up the fields, but it's still quite impressive. The coastal path just carries on up and along, and it undulates really quite extremely, but it's such a fantastic piece of trail. And actually they're closed today because it goes through an MOD area, and they use it to practice their shooting, and they're shut today, so probably quite a good thing we've chosen this walk. But I'm quite excited to take you along that route to the deserted medieval village of Tynemouth, and or Tyneham even, and it's just pretty spectacular. But for today we'll enjoy what we've got going on. Thought we'd speed things up a little bit. Let's just get to the bottom, shall we? Get the job done. Oh, we survived. There we go. And now we're at Lower. So a lot of people start their walk up to Durdle here at Lulworth. You can see by all the cars, it's a pretty good giveaway. I just wanted to show you the cost of car parking. So if you're going to spend like 4 hours here, you're looking at a £5. And to be honest, for a day, it's £9. So it's a chunk of money. That's why park at Ringstead and walk across. You get the views, you get the exercise, and you get free parking. So this is where it all happens on this walk, to be honest. You've got a cafe, you've got fish and chips, you've got a visitor centre, the car park, of which I'm probably going to get run over. But there's also toilets as well, which is handy, because there's obviously none at the start. But I'm just going to wander around and make my way to the cove, see what we can see. I decided to venture into the visitor centre to find out more information about the geology of the area. The displays were really engaging and educational, with videos, images, and plenty of fossils to examine. I couldn't help but smile though at the massive shelf selling all kinds of Dorset tea. Alright, I've resisted the urge for an ice cream or a sandwich, and I'm just headed down to the cove now. We'll go and see what's going on down there. Just past all the sunny summer shops. Lulworth itself is a bustling village, but nearest the cove, it's mostly made up of seaside shops, pubs and shacks selling fresh fish. There was a real buzz of energy, and I found myself caught up in its flow as I made my way to the beach. So this is Lulworth Cove. Really not a bad spot. It's very peaceful at the moment. The cove is one of the world's finest examples of such a landform, and is visited by over 500,000 people each year. Its unique shape is a result of wave diffraction, and this is visible with each approaching wave, which forms an arc. Alright, leaving the cove behind. Now I'm just going to try and pick up the inland route, and we'll use that to head back up to the caravan site at the top of Durdle, and then from there we'll move even further inland and join the ridge that will follow back to the car. All sounds very simple. Let's see if it goes to plan. So I've just been following the road for a little distance, really not that far at all. And now I'm going to cross over and follow the footpath sign and the road, or even the trail up there that takes us to the top of that hill.
The peace and stillness along the stretch of track was a real contrast to the busyness of the cove, and I consciously slowed my pace to enjoy the quiet.
We're nearly back at the caravan site, and the next stretch, or certainly the beginning of the next stretch, is probably the most complicated on the whole walk today, in terms of there's a few lefts here and a few rights there. But basically we're just going to skirt along the edge and drop right down into the valley and then climb up the other side onto the ridge. Hopefully we can get this right. We'll see how we go. Oh, that smells good. Wood chippings. Nice. Leaving the caravan park behind, we're heading through this very gate, through this little wilderness area. We've got all this gorse here. It's just adding a splash of yellow to the landscape. It's gorgeous. Really vibrant looking flowers. We have emerged onto a track. And we're going this way, just onwards really, working our way up to the top of the ridge over there. That's the goal. So this big valley here to my left is called Scratchy Bottom Valley. Yep, you heard that right. Welcome to Dorset, the county where things are named hilariously. So that is Scratchy Bottom Valley, a big cleft in the landscape. It really is pretty straightforward now. I just follow this ridge for a couple of miles, or more like 3 or 4 miles actually, and then follow a sort of inland path that'll take us back to the farm and that joining point that we looked at earlier, where I headed off to try and find the coastal path. And then there, we're pretty much at the car park. So really good going at the moment. The breeze has all but disappeared, but that's fine. I'm just enjoying listening to the skylarks and the quiet up here. It's very still and it's just peaceful and lovely. Listen to that skylark. Absolutely singing his heart out. That's what I want to do. I want life to give me such a buzz that I can't help but sing like that. Found this cool shelving. Nice. Oh, we don't want to knock that over. And here we are. No, not the car park, but the turn off to the car park. So Ringstead is another 2¼ miles, according to this sign here. And coastal path carries on that way. So basically what we're not going to do now is follow the coastal path. We're going to head off through this bridleway and just steadily make our way inland till we get to the car. That's the plan. Let's do it. It's just lovely because you know, now that we haven't got the coastal scenery, we have such beautiful pastoral land to my right here, and just everywhere we look is just rolling green fields which have been mowed in quite a beautiful way, and the gorse just brings splashes of yellow.
This final stretch was really straightforward, basically a never-ending track through the fields.
And here we are, back on the glaring white track that'll take us to the car. Oh, so coastal path was that way 5 hours ago. We're heading this way. back to the vehicles. And you know, I've really just enjoyed this last stretch. I've just been reflecting on all of the joys that the day has given. You know, there's some just incredible views today. I've had some fantastic chats with people that I've walked past who just stopped and had a conversation, and seen the adder, lots of lizards as well, and they're not a given, but it's always a nice surprise. And that's one of the nicest things about walking, is you just never know what's going to be around the next corner, and you just got to stay vigilant to everything around you, all of the colours. You know, the weather's gorgeous today and everything just feels so much more vibrant than it does on our kind of classic grey English days. And I'm just so thankful that I can come out here and do this walk and utilise the long distance trails that we have in the UK. So I've used the Southwest Coastal Path, as I mentioned earlier, longest trail in the UK, 630 miles. But that's just one of 15 trails. And I really want to encourage you to head out and see what trails you can find around you in your home, venture into the wilder areas and just take in the beauty that's around us. And sometimes it really is hidden and you actually have to make the effort to get out and look for it. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and just smile at the beauty. It's so great. So guys, until next time, enjoy your adventures and stay wild.